constantly browsing his own schedule to see upcoming fights or catch up on recent events. Never miss a punch by setting reminders that alert you on your mobile device.
I am here with the main event, Jay Swingler. How are you feeling?
Absolutely fantastic.
Are you not entertained?
Watch where he catches this, and look at his body positioning, and he has to pull that back around under his feet.
Navigate fight night, key moments, replay the rounds and the action you want to see again and again.
Into the water for the final time. He's won the race to go along with the championship.
Absolutely magnificent. What a strike that is.
Boxing on the Zone, sponsored by William Hill.
Look out for the Mercedes-Benz showroom event. Join us in store from the 11th to the 14th of August. Order your new car over the event weekend and receive the first 2 services free. Plus, there are offers across the range, like the EQC SUV with 0% APR representative. Visit our showroom event. Order your new car and receive 2 free services.
Estimated collision in T-minus 10. 9.
Can you confirm satellite collision is imminent?
8. 7. 6. 5.
Now collision avoidance maneuver.
4. 3. 2. 1. Satellite collision averted.
It takes the whole force to protect space. Join us.
Boxing on the Zone, sponsored by William Hill. The following programme is recommended for those 16 and over, as it contains sporting violence, possible bad language, and flashing imagery.
Welcome everyone inside central London here, Pan's Pacific Hotel for the press conference for Anthony Joshua versus Robert Helenius. Yes, Robert Helenius. There were times where I thought this wasn't going to happen, but it is happening, which is fantastic. I'm alongside Darren Barker as per usual. Darren, we get a show. As they've been telling me for the last couple of days, the show goes on.
That is the most important thing. Look, I'm disappointed because I wanted to see that fight against Dillian Whyte, but we have AJ fighting, and if there is this big fight in January against Wilder, it's so important that AJ fights again. Yeah. And look, I think this is a hard fight in the sense he's kind of in a no-win situation. And the reason I say this, Ade, is he's fighting a bloke who Wilder's fought and destroyed in a round. Yeah. So look, I get it if Helenius would have lasted 6 rounds and then AJ's got sort of 5 rounds to do it in. But you can't outdo Wilder.
No, you can't better that, can you?
But that aside, he needs another fight. Yeah. He needs a fight, and this is a fight where I think he will get the stoppage, he will get the knockout, he certainly should do, and then fingers and toes crossed we get that big in January.
Yeah, we're going to be 2 press conferences this afternoon. So we're going to do the undercard and then the main event. Obviously, the main event, AJ versus Robert Helenius. That press conference will start in about 45 minutes to an hour. Look, AJ's taken the fight, and I spoke to Eddie Hearn a couple of days ago, and he said AJ immediately says he wants to fight. Would you have told AJ not to fight?
Before Wilder?
Yeah, would you have told AJ, look, Dillian Whyte's off the card?
No.
You can not fight if you want.
I understand, because last time this happened, he got beat and sort of derailed AJ's progression to wherever he was going to. But I think it's imperative. I think it's very important for that fight. He's still searching for timing and distance, etc. 12 good solid rounds in against Franklin, but I think he needs. We spoke to him before the Dillian Whyte the presser there, saying, do you need a stoppage? And he sort of rubbished it a little bit, but I do think he does want a stoppage. I think it would send his confidence to another level. So yeah, I would have suggested that this fight, even though it is very short notice.
I always speak to Derek James quite a lot, and he always tells me that of all the fighters that he trains and some world-class fighters in that camp, AJ's the most meticulous. Because he is, this is a completely different style, isn't it? Dillian Whyte to Robert Helenius. That's why I asked the question about should he have taken the fight, because you're training for a Dillian Whyte, Buddy McGirt style of fighter now. Helenius, very different, right? 6'9", stand up, big jab, long jab, completely different from Dillian Whyte. How difficult is that going to be for AJ to almost change?
I know he didn't have a huge, extensive amateur career, but he won the Olympics. And in that style, that format of boxing, you're fighting different styles week in, week out. So you can kind of lean on that experience a little bit, having to fight different styles, different sizes that he did in the amateurs. So I don't think it will worry him. To be honest, I used to quite like it myself when I used to fight taller people. There's a bigger target to work with. He throws a lovely jab to the body, AJ. He comes back upstairs with the right hand. So technically, I think it probably suits him.
Yeah, indeed. Maisie Rose Courtney there, one of the fighters on the undercard. And look, we speak about the show going on. It's important for these fighters that it does go on. That's Brandon Scott there, by the way.
Are you sure?
I think it is, yeah, who always comes dressed as a character. I think fantastic. The likes of Hatton there and George Liddard. On terms of the undercard, who really excites you?
Well, do you know what? I've liked Brandon Scott.
That is him, by the way.
He is him.
Yeah.
He kind of ticks all the boxes. And on the Cordina Rakhimov build, though he only did 4 rounds, I was really impressed with him. His intent, you get a lot of fighters who may sort of have this bit of persona and a bit of way about them, but they don't really back it up. He backs it up. He's a very good fighter. And look, the other one that catches my eye is Hrgovic Dempsey McKean.
Battle of the unbeaten.
Yeah, and there was a few words said, a lot of self-belief on both, and 2 undefeated fighters who are going to throw bombs. No doubt.
And look, for Filip Hrgovic, I mean, last time out against Zhili Zhang, I have to be honest, I was there and I thought he lost that fight.
Yeah, I did.
So he's been out of the ring for a year as well. So, look, he's coming in as the big favourite, but you never know, right?
You don't know. Heavyweight boxing, I mean, it's a 2-horse race, whatever weight, but in heavyweight boxing, it takes one shot. Hrgovic's the bigger puncher out of the 2, but he struggled against Zhang, who's a southpaw, McKean's a southpaw, so...
Yeah, 2 veterans as well, Derek Chisora versus Gerald Washington. That's interesting, isn't it? Gerald Washington, 41, was unbeaten up until the point he met Deontay Wilder, which is no shame. And Chisora's coming off that defeat to Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
No one knows what to expect in that one.
No. Anything could happen. That's one of them, just don't blink. Don't blink. Interesting.
Yeah, that is Chisora.
Interesting outfit.
By the way, he looks in great shape. Doesn't he look in great shape? I mean,
lean.
It looks like he's lost a few pounds. Obviously, he was putting his name forward to be the replacement for Dillian Whyte. Interesting to see what happens with Chisora, because look, as much as some people called for Chisora to retire, you look at the defeats recently. He's lost to Tyson Fury, he's lost to Joseph Parker, and he's lost to Alexander Usyk. So you kind of don't know where he is, because he's lost to top 10 heavyweights.
And it's strange as well. It's a funny sort of fight, because you could call him a gatekeeper if you like, Chisora, but Washington could also be labelled as that. So where does the winner go?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Where does the winner go in this fight?
But they continue, I guess.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
Yeah, I wonder. Or is it just about getting a win and bowing out?
Let's see what happens. All right, the undercard press conference is ready to go. Let's throw it down now to Mr. Eddie Hearn.
Well, welcome to London, live on The Zone. Around the world, social, Matchroom Boxing social as well, ahead of 2 very special press conferences. Of course, it's a night of heavy duty at the O2 Arena on Saturday night. Anthony Joshua now facing the Nordic Nightmare, 6'9" Robert Helenius, as he looks to move on to some of the biggest fights in the division, and a huge undercard, of course, the top table full of some of the biggest, baddest and best heavyweights in the world, as well as some of our youngest talent as well. Of course, we know the issues of the last couple of days. And it's never easy in that situation to think on your feet, adapt and move forward. The instruction from Anthony Joshua was very clear. I'm ready to fight. I want to fight at the O2 on Saturday. We have to thank our broadcast partners, DAZN. Of course, the great news for subscribers around the world, this fight no longer pay-per-view. I know it hurts me to say it, but unbelievable value for you guys at home to see the big man, Anthony Joshua, in a big fight, and of course, this incredible undercard as well. So thank you to them for their support, because not only did we have the instruction of Anthony Joshua to fight this weekend, we had all these fighters here as well, who have been training hard for the last 10, 12 weeks. And as you know, in boxing, you get paid when you fight. Different levels in this fight of people of unified heavyweight world championships and young prospects who are looking to make their mark. Important to see them get out, get paid, get active. And some of our youngest talent on display here. And what better way to start with a young man, I can't believe he's come as Spider-Man again. Brandon Scott, welcome. Your first fight as an official Matchroom fighter. You got the call up, a dream opportunity, a dream slot for you. And you will be fighting on Saturday night at the O2 on the Anthony Joshua undercard.
Well, you know shit's hit the fan when Spider-Man's been called to save the day. Look, I know what everyone is thinking. I'm thinking the exact same thing. What is he doing here? The only thing that I can put it down to is obviously there was all that trouble with the positive tests, and Ed's gone, right, who can I get on the show that's definitely clean? He's looked at the list of his boxers, seen my name, and gone, right, if there's anyone that's not on something, it's that scrawny nerd. But look, I could never turn an opportunity like this down. I mean, Anthony Joshua is my biggest inspiration in boxing. You know, I actually see a lot of myself in Anthony Joshua. Well, besides the muscles, the money, the penis size. He can't help that. I'm just genetically gifted.
Okay, Brandon. I would just like to point out to people that although you are mad as a hatter and a great personality, you are not solely here because of your banter, but because of your ability. A great young prospect, and jokes aside, looking forward to a big run now on a big platform with us. Of course, wanting to bring big fights back to Wales as well, but the opportunity to fight on some of the biggest shows.
Yeah, well, this is the start of something great. You know, before I started doing all these, or before people started seeing me do all this, I was known as arguably the best prospect in Wales. But rightfully so, it's been overshadowed by all this. But I will soon show people that I can fight better than I can dress as Spider-Man, even though I do it pretty well. But this is the start of something special, and I know I'm with the best team possible. With you, with Frank, with Matchroom, with everyone. So, like I said, this is going to be a fun ride, and this is just the start.
Looking forward to seeing you in action on Saturday. Maisie Rose, a tough act to follow from Spider-Man, but you were one of the people that were messaging me non-stop. Talk us through the last couple of days for you as well. You know, coming off the back of a great victory on the Katie Taylor card, you're now on the Anthony Joshua card as well. But the importance to make sure shows like this do go ahead and you young guns get out and get paid after a long camp of hard work.
Yeah, I think you got it spot on. Us undercard people, imagine if this fight didn't happen, I have to go back to work for a little bit. Do you know what I mean? I ain't got no money, I ain't got no solid income as of yet. I'm only early on in my career, 3-0. And yeah, these are the building blocks. This is what's gonna make me become bigger and become the champion I wanna be, you know? And yeah, thanks to Eddie. I know I was doing your editing a little bit, texting you all the time and like making sure, you know, you're doing your job, but yeah, I'm grateful. I'm so grateful that this show's going ahead and I don't have to go back to work.
A great performance last time out for you, fighting Kate Radomska in Ireland on the Katie Taylor show. A good step up again against Gemma Reg, who's boxed across the weight divisions. Very, very tough. We know you always come to fight, and it's another good stepping stone to move on to championships.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's on paper, it looks good. She was the only person that beat my last opponent. So it made sense that I'd fight Gemma. And she's boxed good people, she's boxed people that have won world titles, and she's a tough girl, I'm even tougher. And yeah, Saturday night, hopefully Kevin Tony ain't listening. I want to have a fight, do you know what I mean? They told me to box a little bit better, but yeah, Saturday night we're ready to rumble.
Well, we know you always come to fight, as does your fellow 3-0 stablemate George Liddard. George, moving fantastically well now. 3 fights, 3 stoppages, a huge card to be a part of as well, but really coming into your own now as a professional, looking super strong and looking forward to performing on Saturday.
Yeah, 100%. I'm very grateful for the opportunity again, so I thank you. Yeah, glad the show's going ahead. Another good card for me to showcase my skills. And yeah, 4-0 roll on Saturday night, and we get a full stoppage.
We know that you're still a young man, but having seen your strength and conditioning stuff, you're getting stronger and stronger. We know you're punching very hard in sparring now. Of course, you have to go through the development stage, but moving at a fantastic pace in the pros.
100%, since I joined Matchroom, the elite gym, I feel like I've grown from a boy to a man. From making my debut, last, I think November it was, or October, to now, I've come on levels, and I'm going to keep going up the levels, keep facing tougher tests, and I just look forward to putting on another explosive performance. This is what I do, and this is what I enjoy to do. So yeah, keep going up the levels, and being on cards like this will only prepare me for the future, for what's to come when eventually one day I'm headlining these.
A great fight on the card, Campbell Hatton against Tom Ansell. I think definitely the toughest fight so far of Campbell Hatton's career. The development stage starting to come to an end, and Tom Ansell looking to make a big name for himself on a huge card. Tom, welcome. Massive opportunity for you, not too far away in terms of days, but also in terms of from your neck of the woods as well. A massive opportunity for you. You believe a winnable fight, your team believes a winnable fight, and a big career changer for you on Saturday night.
Yeah, firstly, a massive thank you for having me on this show. It's an absolute dream to be part of an AJ undercard. Just from Saturday's fight, I think they massively underestimated me. I think I'm his biggest test, and hopefully we both bring war to each other, and the best man wins.
Obviously, Campbell came into the game with a tough act to follow, but also limited amateur pedigree, fought a lot of fighters that didn't come to win, but you 100% here to win on Saturday night. Like you said, his toughest test so far, and got to test him over rounds, and I guess take him into deep waters.
Yeah, 100%. I want to take him down to the trenches, and we'll see if he can handle it. I know I can, so go from there, and the best man wins.
Campbell, getting exciting now. It's what you wanted, really. The development that you've had, starting to put your shots together nicely, starting to hurt people, win by knockout. A good fight for you on Saturday night, and this is what you want. Good domestic fighters that are coming to win. Yeah, without a doubt. I think we're sort of getting to that stage now where I'm not doing my learning, and we're getting onto proper fights like this one. And I totally agree. It's my biggest test. We've prepared for that. We expect my toughest fight yet, without a doubt, and we know I'm far fitter, far stronger, far sharper, just better all round than I ever have been. We've definitely not underestimated Tom. We know he's boxed at area title level, English title level, and that's what I think where I'm in touching distance of now. And if I don't get past this test, all that goes out the window. So we've got no doubt that we're more than ready for the fight. You're looking forward to facing an opponent that is coming to win, that is going to walk you down, is going to try and stand and fight with you as well. A lot of the time you face opponents that are trying to survive and you have to force the action, but we don't expect that here. The styles should gel nicely and there'll be plenty of action in there. No, absolutely. He's going to, we've seen plenty of footage of him, and he comes to have a fight. There's no shying away with Tom, so I think that's going to play into my hands. I think anyone who does come and who has had a go in my previous fights, it has suited me a lot more, and I think it's going to make for a top exciting fight. Well, thank you, boys, and thank you, girls, and the bottom table there. We look forward to seeing your careers unfold on Saturday night. We move to the top table. Of course, this show headlined by Anthony Joshua against Robert Helenius, but 3 tremendous heavyweight fights on the undercard on Saturday night, and this one a very important one for the career of one of the country's most popular heavyweights, Johnny Fisher. I think only given 500 tickets for Saturday night. We've literally only had a couple of hundred refunds ahead of Saturday, which he's gobbling up as we speak with his old man. And a tough test for him on Saturday night. The Southern Area heavyweight title, the first time he's been over 10 rounds. Harry Armstrong, the opponent, who I've watched before, who I've been impressed with before. This is a fight that we're all concerned about, Harry. This is a fight that Johnny Fisher wants. Is this the right opponent choice for Johnny Fisher. What a platform for you on Saturday night. 17,000 people at the O2 going to be watching you fight Johnny Fisher.
It's a massive platform for me, so thank you very much for having me on. I believe it's the wrong fight for Johnny Fisher because he will be getting beat on Saturday night. I'm incredibly excited about this fight. I wanted it for a long time. I'm ready for it. I'm fit, I'm strong, I'm here. I'm going to cause the upset.
Sometimes in your career you've had to jump in short notice fights. This time you have plenty of notice. You're going to be nice and fit. We saw another heavyweight recently, you know, run out of gas after 4 or 5 rounds. We know Johnny Fisher has, you know, not struggled to get rounds because he's been taking it out. Is that the difference that you see in this fight? As I said to Tom, is it about taking Johnny Fisher to deep waters in this fight, 6, 7, 8, 9 rounds? That's where you think your experience is going to show in that distance?
100%. I believe my experience will show in that distance. I don't believe you can last 10 rounds with me. Like you said, I've had loads of notice. I've been training up a mountain in Spain. I'm incredibly fit. The rounds will not be a problem for me. I'm just looking forward to it now.
Just one question. Tell me the mindset of a fighter that has struggled for opportunity and struggled to get notice for fights, and the realisation that a win on Saturday night can put you in for a British heavyweight title, can put you in for a European heavyweight title, can just change your life financially as well. We know Johnny gives everything to the sport. He's had it his own way through some good performances, but you haven't. But what's the desire levels of Harry Armstrong to win by any costs on Saturday night?
Absolutely massive. It's career defining. I win this fight and I move on to much, much bigger things. I'm so hungry for this. It's everything. This title is the first title you can win as a pro, and I'm just ready to go and take it.
Johnny, as I said to Campbell, and excitingly, gets real now, it gets serious. You're in with someone that is 100% coming to win. You're in with a tough man who can go rounds. But you called this on, your training team called it on, your management called it on. You feel it's time now for the big step up and your first 10-rounder and your first heavyweight title on Saturday night.
Definitely looking forward to the challenge, but you say it's real now. It's been real for me from the very start. I prepared no differently. Every time I get in that ring, it's do or die. So Harry better be ready for that.
I think a lot of people obviously looking at your first round KOs, second round KOs, and I guess the only question that we don't know yet is how you will go over the 10-round distance. He wants to force this pace. We saw with Matty Harris recently how that can change very quickly over 5, 6 rounds. Excited as well to maybe go to the trenches if you do indeed see it going there.
Very excited. As you said, I haven't had to go that far yet, testament to my power, but that also means you haven't seen the best of me. You haven't seen what I can do. No one has yet. So if Harry's up to the challenge on Saturday night, he'll be seeing the best of me and he'll be feeling it firsthand.
And of course, one of the biggest ticket sellers in the country, but also one of the best prospects as well. Fast hands, you can hit very hard. Like you said, he's got to take you to those trenches. He's going to have to take the power of Johnny Fisher early in this fight.
Definitely, and I'm not overlooking this at all. As you said, it's a very, very big night for me. That power, it's all good and talking about it here, but when you feel that power, all these heavyweights up there will know. All the words go out the window, so I don't need to say any more. When you feel that right hand on your chin, it's a very different story.
And finally, there will be 17,000 people watching you on Saturday night. You've not boxed in front of that number before, but you have boxed in front of big numbers with unbelievable atmospheres. All those moments that you experience, all part of the process of going out and being calm on Saturday night.
Yeah, I'm very privileged and very honoured to have the fan base that I've got, and that's going to prepare me for a night like what's coming up on Saturday. I've been in them situations where I've got 3, 4, 5,000 people cheering my name. It's an honour to be on Anthony Joshua's undercard. That pressure comes off me a little bit because he's the big draw. So it's all playing into my favour. I'm in a great position, and I'm going to showcase that on Saturday.
Well, a real fun domestic heavyweight fight. Johnny Fisher against Harry Armstrong. An international heavyweight fight next, which has massive ramifications of the world heavyweight title. The IBF mandatory challenger, Filip Hrgovic, against Dempsey McKean, Australian's heavyweight charge, looking to have a shot at the world heavyweight title. The winner of this fight will be mandated to fight Alexander Usyk. If he comes through, of course, Daniel Dubois. Good luck to both of them. But what a massive fight for two unbeaten, dangerous heavyweights. Dempsey, we'll start with you. It's been a long time coming. You've been in the gym since January. You've looked fantastic with Tony Sims, fitter, stronger than ever, perfect timing for just the biggest moment of your life on Saturday.
Yeah, definitely. Like he said, I've been in the gym. I got back to the UK in December and been in the gym since about January. We were looking to fight in May. Then it kind of got pushed back to June, July, and now August. But it's just good that we finally got a date to really hone in on. And, you know, it's a blessing in disguise because it's more time I get to spend under Tony Sims, learning under him. He's one of the best coaches in the world, and it shows with the stable of fighters he has. And come Saturday night, I'm just ready to put that all into play.
You talked about, I love the quotes, 36 minutes to change your life, everything you've given to the sport, all of a sudden, you gate crashed the party. He's worked to get that #1 position. I know you've worked hard in your career, but you can spoil everything on Saturday night. You can land a shot at the world heavyweight title. All you have to do is come through this man, and you're prepared to do whatever it takes.
That's it. 36 minutes is all it takes to change my life. I wake up every morning, I tell myself that. I tell myself that every night before I go to bed. And, you know, there's been bigger upsets in the heavyweight boxing history, you know. So I think this is a very, very even fight as well, you know. He keeps carrying on and waffling on about who have I knocked out that he hasn't knocked out, you know. Who has he decisively knocked out apart from Zhang, won against apart from Zhang, you know, which is a controversial win. So I think we've got pretty much the same kind of repertoire and CV as each other. So
yeah, it was a nice back and forwards. He said that you're deluded and you don't have punch power, but you saw him struggle a little bit against Zhang, the southpaw as well, and yourself a southpaw as well, but fully confident, as good as Filip Hrgovic is, that you get the win at the O2.
Yeah, look, he's a good fighter. I'm not saying that, you know. I think I've got the tools to do so and to beat him and, you know, give him a hell of a night. So, you know, I've got good footwork, I've got good head movement, good hand speed and punch selection and all of the above, and good power as well to mix in with that. So, yeah, I'm just excited. Saturday night, I'm going to, and I think he's going to bring out the best in me as well, you know. A good contender and a good opposition is always going to bring out the best in me, and I can't wait for that.
Filip, welcome. A massive moment for you. We know you've wanted a shot at the world heavyweight title for a long time. You're one fight away. You win this fight, you'll be immediately mandated for the winner of Alexander Usyk and Daniel Dubois. But you must take care of this man on Saturday night. You're confident that you do that and you do it in style.
Yeah. I'm the only one who don't speak English here. So, a little bit...
Don't worry, I'll translate for you.
Yeah, thank you for this opportunity. Thank to Matchroom Boxing, thank to the Wasserman Boxing, to my team, my managers and my coach. And it's a great opportunity for me. I'm haven't fought in one year, so I'm very happy to be back in the ring. And like you said, one fight away from fighting for a world championship, and I'm very excited and I'm very well prepared and ready for rock and roll.
We know you had your issues around the Zhang fight, but a lot of people are taking confidence from that performance. Of course, Dempsey is a southpaw as well. They're looking at that fight, all of a sudden thinking that you are beatable. Is that a good thing that people are now ready to accept the challenge? We know how difficult it's been to get opponents for you in the past. Now people truly believe they can beat you.
Yeah, I'm glad because of that, and I'm glad that fight with Zhang happened. I didn't look very well. But like I said, I'm glad. I know it's not my best game. It was my worst night, and even on my worst night, I beat a good fighter. You saw what he did to Joe Joyce. So Zhang proved that he's a really top 10 heavyweight. And on my worst night, I beat him, and that's good. That I had like a bad performance, that people can watch that fight and underestimate me in future. So it's not so bad, you know. I know I can do much better, and I didn't take this fight lightly with Dempsey. I trained very hard, and I'm ready for anything.
And my final question: Dempsey seems confident. His team are confident, but in your mind, no chance of an Australian victory on Saturday night. You march forward to a shot at the world heavyweight title.
Yeah, we'll see. You know, in boxing and in the life, anything is possible. But I don't see how he gonna beat me. He had, 22 fights before, but I don't see anything special in his game. And like I said before, one thing is confidence and another thing is to be delusional.
Thank you. Philip?
Do you want me to translate?
Well, I know you wore your Croatian colours here today, Derek, but we're going to talk about your fight now. This is a great fight. This is a must-win fight for two great heavyweights that have really mixed at the absolute elite level of the sport. Derek Chisora against Gerald Washington. Two guys that put their name into the Anthony Joshua hat at the weekend. And one of the reasons we didn't move forward with either of these is because we wanted to see this fight. It's a really great fight for the undercard. Derek Chisora goes again at the O2, the home of so many incredible performances by him. Malik Scott trained Gerald Washington in the house. Welcome, Gerald. I guess you look at this fight, you fancy this fight. Do you see yourself as a favourite in this fight on paper? I know it's one that you and Malik Scott truly believe you win.
I think it's a great matchup for us. We've been working hard for a long time. We haven't fought for over a year and a half, so I'm grateful for this opportunity to you and to Derek for giving us this shot. We've been working, so yeah, we're looking forward to this.
I guess for you, sometimes it's a little bit, don't chin me, but it's a little bit hot and cold. Sometimes you had a big knockout win over Robert Helenius a few years ago, and then other times, blown a little bit cold as well. Where are you at with your career? Where are you at with your training? Malik messaged me when Dillian was out of the fight saying, honestly, this guy's ready. He's trained hard. Where are you at in your mind, physically, and in your career right now?
Yeah, I know I've been up and down. It's just a matter of being consistent for me. I started late in the game. I started when I was 30 years old. I had a lot of great opportunities, great wins. I fought for the heavyweight championship of the world. I've had big fights, but just learning along the way, and I'm grateful to be here, to be able to fight here in London for the first time. It's going to be we're ready to put on a good show.
And finally, this man to my right, who you know, great character, great fighter,
yes, sir. Yes,
super
sir.
tough.
Yes.
Going to take some beating on Saturday night, but if you beat this man, all of a sudden puts you in the frame for massive fights, massive paydays, and it's going to be a lot of action this fight.
Yeah, it's going to be back in the mix, baby.
Mr. Chisora, welcome. I thought it was Louis Vuitton, but it's actually Five Guys.
I can't afford Louis Vuitton.
Shout out to your sponsors,
as always. The money you pay me, I can't afford.
Obviously, we know of the problems with the main event, which you kindly offered to help out for, because...
No, don't try and make me fall out with my brother. I didn't offer her out. Don't try. I didn't say anything. I just kept quiet. People put my name in the bag. I just kept quiet. Listen, it happens. It's quite sad. I feel bad for you because how many pay-per-views have you done?
Many.
No. On the zone.
No, well, their plan is to not do the pay-per-views. But
yeah, because every time you try to do a pay-per-view, somebody fucks it up for you.
I know.
And I'm so sorry for you.
Thank you, Derek. I'd literally just got over it.
Yeah, I get it, man. It's 2 pay-per-views you've tried to do and then you've been fucked up. I apologize. Maybe you just give me the... I'll just do it for you easy, bro.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, I'll sell out a thing for you.
Thank you. Well, we'll talk about your fight. This is a great fight.
Yeah, first of all, I want to give a shout out to Prince Khalid and everybody at Skill Challenge, because to be God honest truth with you guys, Skill Challenge and 258 put me on this undercard. Eddie didn't want to put me on this undercard. He didn't want to pay me. So my money came from Skill Challenge. So for me,
no, let's be honest. You're so expensive.
No, let's be honest. That's
I agree, though. I agree.
You didn't want to pay me. So for me to sit here and
I'm not actually paying it for the undercard.
Yeah,
but anyway,
for me to sit here and then like me and you are best friends is just bullshit. Let's all be honest about it. So
what, me and you?
Yeah, we're not really best friends.
I like you.
I like you too, but we're not really best friends.
Not really, no. I mean, but I appreciate the Five Guys you bring in to the change rooms after.
Oh yeah, thank you very much. That's everybody. Everybody has to eat after the fight. That's it. But you know what? It's gonna be a great show. It's it's a problem. Because I want to talk about this. It's a problem in this sport of ours that boxing is already a harder sport enough to fight somebody's kid when you're not on drugs. Now imagine now you. It's not even the fighters I blame. I want to blame the trainers. The trainers. Like your boxing trainer, your S&C coaches. Those are the guys who give you that shit. Not the boxer. You don't see a fighter go, oh, let me go online, let me get this to enhance my body. No. I blame the trainers. Oh, you know, if I get this for you, you can do this and do this. Those are the people I blame for this, because boxing already, it's already a hard sport already without people taking drugs. Do you understand? You know, I don't take drugs in boxing, to be honest with you, but I take drugs when I go to Ibiza. Do you understand? Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, that's fine. You know, that's allowed. You know, I smoke a bit of reefer once in a while, but that's cool. You know, but I don't take it for me to fight another person's kid. No, I don't do that. So I think I think they should put a new rule now. If you get caught taking any supplements in boxing, this is from the British Border Control, it's gonna have to be a 10-year ban straight away. A 10-year ban. Because how about if you hit that kid and he dies? What are you gonna do? You know, I boxed for 20 years now. I've never taken any drugs. The only time I've been banned from boxing is when I beat somebody's ear. But that's it. But I was not banned for drugs. So I think the rules should change in actually for the British Border Control. Get caught taking drugs, it's a 10-year ban straight away. There's no excuses. Now, I've said my piece anyway now. Yeah, I'm happy to fight Gerald Washington. I thank Prince Khalid for putting me on this card. I was told not to say so much, you know, because I don't want to offend lots of people. You know, I don't mind offending people. But, Eddie, I still love you, though, you know that.
But I would like to thank Prince Khalid, because it is a true story. But I always want to see you on the card, and this is a big fight for you. And I know you never really want to analyse fights,
you know what,
and talk about the desire and what's going to happen when you fight this guy at the O2.
They're all big, man. All the fights I've been in, they're all big, bro. They're all my babies. I love them. I love all the fights from the moment I had my first fight and until the moment I have my last fight. They're all my babies. I love them. I got 2 kids, and I love all my kids the same way. I don't love one better than the other one. I love them all the same. Even from the moment I walked in the ring, from the amateurs, I love all my fights the same. You know, I'm happy I'm fighting Gerald Washington. You know, I know what Gerald Washington is gonna bring. He's gonna have to put his Usain Bolt shoes on. He's gonna run, and that is goes on the street. He's gonna run, but it's okay. We're gonna chase him, and we're gonna find him. We're gonna fuck him up. You know, he's my friend. I ain't gonna lie to you, he's my friend. But when I get in the ring, I'm gonna eat this guy up. You know, he's gonna have to have something unbelievable for me, you know, not to come after him. But whatever happens, I'm gonna eat him up.
I know you talk about you just love to fight, but also at the same time, this is a fight that you have to win.
Mate,
you look at it like that, or is it just another fight for you?
All fights you have to win, man. Jesus Christ, it's like all fights you have to win. Sometimes it's not your day. You know, all fights you have to win. You know, man makes plans and God loves him. So, you know, I can say, yes, I'm going to knock him out in the 3rd round, and I go to 12 rounds. You know, all fights you have to win. You know, you think I didn't want to win my last 22 fights I lost? No, I'm joking. You know.
One thing I will say, the O2 has been a great home for you, always unbelievable support
O2's
from
home for me.
fans. And as you look around, not just the young fighters, of course, but a great heavyweight card, great fight to the right of you with Philip and Dempsey and young Johnny Fisher in a big test. Great heavyweight action.
Mate, I mean, like, you know, I moved around with Johnny. You know, Johnny's a good kid, bro. You know, I love his way. He fights for the people. You know, my man, I'm wearing his national flag colors. You know, I've seen him box with the Chinese power. You know, it was a very tricky fight for him in Saudi. I was there. You know. Harry, I used to train with Harry with Don, you know, so it's a good fight, you know. The southpaw guy I was training, don't really know much about him, you know, but he's a good fighter, you know. It's all good, man. It's a good undercard, you know. You got Spider-Man, you know, you got Ricky Hatton's son down there. Is that him? Is Ricky's son here?
It's Campbell.
Campbell? Fuck you ignoring me for? What's wrong with you, boy? How are you?
Good, mate, you?
Yeah, I'm good, my brother.
Good, man.
You know, I watched Campbell's last fight, you know, his body shot he hit the guy with, I felt it myself when I was on the floor. So listen, it's going to be a good card, you know. And to the fans, you know, I apologize for what happened to the fight. You know, we wanted to watch the rematch, you know, AJ and Dylan. You know, I spoke to Dylan. Dylan feels bad. He goes, you know, Eddie, you did something with his bloods, you know, so I don't know.
Thanks, Derek. Definitely didn't want this fight to fall through.
No, I spoke to him. He said you did something to the bloods. I'm like, what did he do?
I knew I'd get the blame.
Somebody has to get the blame.
Exactly.
Do you understand?
Thank you.
But anyway, listen, I hope you guys enjoy the show. It's going to be a great show. I'm excited. I'm buzzing. Thank you. And for that, thank you very much.
My final question. You've shared the ring with Robert Helenius, tall, stand-up, 6'9" guy. Good match-up for AJ. Again, tricky with a 5-day replacement, but I know you spoke to him. He's looked great in this camp.
Listen, I've shared the ring 12 rounds with him, yeah. This man knocked him out. How many rounds he knocked him out in?
8.
8 rounds. So, I did 12, he did 8. So I think AJ should knock him out in 3rd round, fair and square.
Okay.
Yeah,
fingers crossed.
No fingers crossed. I'm going to tell AJ, you need to knock this guy out so we can have an early night home.
Good. Well, good luck to you. Good luck to everybody on the card. Great undercard of action.
Good luck to you too, Eddie.
Thank you. I need it, especially sitting next to you. Thank you to everybody up here, the media, and we will have the main event press conference shortly.
That was fun. Derek Chisora being Derek Chisora, as per usual, which I like. I like Chisora. I'm going to miss Chisora when it's finally all said and done. I think he brings a lot of energy, a lot of colour to some of these press conferences as well. Remember, he takes on Gerald Washington, the battle of 2 veterans there. Filip Hrgović looking mean and lean, I think it's fair to say. Isn't it, Darren? Look, he spoke about that Zhilei Zhang performance. It wasn't his best. I think we all know that at his very, very best, he's one of the world's best heavyweights, and I expect to show him, or him to show that on Saturday.
Yeah, look, he's a force. He really is. He's a very good fighter. But look, taken aside if he was unwell or whatever, he really struggled with the southpaw stance. The pressure, when he was put under pressure by Zhang as well, he's a completely different fighter than when he's on the front foot. When he's on the front foot, he's a handful. When you've got your arm's length and he can bully you and push you around, he's a nightmare. But when Zhang had him on the back foot, he didn't really know how to cope. You know, when things weren't going his way. And look, he was dropped in the 1st round by a sort of a long right lead hook, and he could not miss with the left hand. So if Dempsey, McKean and Tony Sims are watching that, they're thinking, do you know what? We've got a chance here. He is beatable. So for me, you're going to see a really charged up Hrgović because he's want to sort of right that wrong from the last fight. But on the flip side, you've got McKean who's going to think, do you know what? I can win this fight. So I just think with what's on the line, the pot of gold there, to be fighting Usyk for the IBF world title, if he gets past the boy, I mean, huge.
It's incredible, isn't it? Boxing's always about stories, and Dempsey McKean's story is one that probably needs to be told a bit more. Was called to do sparring with AJ in 2021, decided to actually relocate over, as you say, he's in that gym with Tony Sims, and I think he's a different fighter since he's been over here as well.
Yeah, his confidence has certainly grown, his ability has grown, his technical sort of know-how has improved, his ring craft, and that's Tony. I think Tony really does drum it into you. He's a boxing purist, Tony, and you can see that in his work. I'm looking forward to this fight.
Yeah. Johnny Fisher.
Yeah. Look, I've heard this man here talk about he's been boxing his whole life. Armstrong, he's been an amateur. He's done things the hard way, and he's going to make sure he wins this fight. He's got enough in the locker.
Big lumps.
Big lumps.
I mean, you always know they're big because when you see Eddie, who's 6'5" himself, and then you see him not looking down, you realise that these two guys are massive. Johnny Fisher obviously going for his first title, Southern Area Heavyweight title as well. Look, me and you were speaking off camera about where we think Johnny Fisher can go, and I asked you, honestly, can you think he can go to British level, British title level? And you said yes.
Yeah, I do. He's still learning on the job, but there's a lot to work with if you're Mark Tibbs and the rest of the team. And here they are.
Here they are.
This is yeah. For me, the first bell goes with with what's on the line, with Dempsey McKean looking at that Zhang fight thinking, yes, I can certainly win this. Then you've got Hrgović saying, look, I've got to look good now. I've got to look good. I've got to right that wrong from the Zhang fight. I've got to show people that I am the real deal. I think with everything in the pot there, you've got the ingredients for a cracker.
Remember, it was supposed to be Hrgović versus Andy Ruiz Jr. Andy Ruiz's team pulled him from the purse bid, so we get Hrgović versus Dempsey McKean. Look, I think Hrgović is, at worst, a top 6 heavyweight. But that Zhang fight showed that there are holes there they need to work on.
Vulnerabilities for sure, but like I said, a force to be reckoned with. I mean, punches with both hands, got that, that amateur pedigree, so he knows how to fight as well. It's just now there's some question marks, and that's why it makes it interesting.
Both can punch as well. Are we expecting it to go the distance, that one? No, I don't expect this one to go the distance either. Derek Chisora versus Gerald Washington. Like you heard me probably say it on the broadcast a bit earlier. Yes, Chisora's got a lot of defeats, as does Gerald Washington. But you look at who Chisora's lost to recently: WBC heavyweight champion Tyson Fury, Joseph Parker, and arguably one of the best heavyweights, one of the best fighters on the planet right now, Alexander Usyk. So it's difficult to kind of see where Chisora is.
Yeah, and what the motivation is still. I
Well,
can
he likes his money.
guarantee he likes money for sure. There's going to be a lot of oohing and ahhing in this fight. I think there's going to be a lot of punches thrown where you go, whoa, flipping heck.
Yeah, Gerald Washington, by the way, looks in fantastic shape as well, doesn't he?
He always looks great. Always looks in
obviously
great
working
shape.
alongside Malik Scott, obviously Deontay Wilder in that camp as well. So both fighters looking in really good shape. I like it. I've always said you've got to have a heavyweight card in every single fight because that's what people want to see. We've got 3. If you add the main event, we've got 4.
Yeah.
So it's good, isn't it?
Yeah, buzzing. And it will always be the marquee division in boxing, the heavyweight division. You know, you've always, through time, wanted to see these big guys. They entertain most of the time. There's always big punches thrown and landed, and yeah, we're going to have a lot of atmosphere building throughout this week. The atmosphere on the night's going to be incredible, and I think the fights will not disappoint.
Yeah, Eddie Hearn joins us. Now look at Darren Barker getting the mic
my
from
job,
as well.
this is.
Well done. Would it stretch enough? Hopefully it does. Maybe Eddie's got to come a bit closer. Eddie, I always love your back and forth with Derek Chisora.
Well, you just never know.
You never know what's going to. You handled it well. You never know what.
It's quite a libelous occasion. Do you know what I mean? It's like you can't really take it. He's like, I mean, he just said in the, you know, they just did a head-to-head with Washington.
What did he say?
And then I said face-to-face. Washington went like this. And Derek went, where are you going? He went, I told you you're going to run. And he's like, yeah, not, you know, because they're quite pally-pally. It's like, yeah, nice one, Derek. And he went, I'm going to beat the shit out of you. You know, and Washington sort of went, ha. He went, no, I'm serious. Like, and he's just, you never, you know.
What do you think the plan is, like, for that fight? You know, where does the winner go? Because they're so far.
By the way, like, at that stage, you've got to understand that both guys, it's not about world championship ambitions. It's about keeping the bus rolling and landing a big fight, right? Chisora's always got the ability to do that. But all of a sudden, like, Washington would have got the fight against AJ if he had a win, a good win recently. Yeah. Or if he was active or whatever. So if all of a sudden, if he beats Derek Chisora, he can fight any British heavyweight, certainly, and all of a sudden he's in for a big heavyweight fight in America. So all of these guys, and you know, Helenius on another level to that, are thinking there's multi-million pound paydays out there for me in this division. I mean, obviously for Helenius, but even for Washington, one good win against Chisora, he lands himself a massive fight. And by the way, Washington's decent. Yeah. Like he's in great shape. He's an athlete. I mean, Malik Scott messaged me when Dillian Whyte was out of the fight, just basically saying, we've trained like non-stop. He's had a great camp, super fit. Please give us the fight. I promise you, we won't disappoint. We're in good shape. So, I think they're looking at the fight, and I think you'd agree, like, we beat Chisora. Yeah. Like, all we have to do, and there's no secret, you don't want to stand and have a fight with Chisora, you want to box him. And that's what Washington is actually good at. Yeah. Chisora's going to have to chase him around a little bit and try and cut him off. But sooner or later, Washington can punch as well. And that you do start thinking about Del and how is that punch resistant after a tough career. But you also know he's tough as old boots. Yeah. You know, and if they didn't stop the fight against Tyson Fury, he would have gone all night. Do you know what I mean? So, but you don't want to see him take punishment like that. And people keep talking about, you know, do you think he should still be fighting? At this level, where he's a favourite in a fight, I don't have an issue with it. Do you know what I mean? I mean, he says he didn't put himself in the hat for Anthony Joshua. He definitely put himself in the hat for Anthony Joshua because he'll fight anyone. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But this level, if you get beat here, I think it's time where you start to, you know, I don't want to say it too loud because I don't want him to watch this back, but you have to start thinking about hanging him up.
Yeah, it's difficult. Me and Darren were talking about sort of his losses of recent. Tyson Fury, Alexander Usyk, Joseph Parker. There's no shame in any of those defeats. And look at Usyk and the Parker ones, he went points with them. So you kind of don't know where he is. I think on Saturday we'll find out. Yeah, exactly the danger
of defeat to Washington, who's still a good fighter, but it's not Usyk and it's not Fury. Yeah. So it's almost like, okay, so what do? You drop down.
Really don't want to drop below this level, does he?
No, and you can't. But also the money that he wants to get paid, and you know, jokes aside about Skills Challenge and Prince Khalid, he is part of the team, so you know he will be looked after in that respect. But at the same time, like it's not going to happen forever. So he has to win on Saturday night.
There was a lot of talk about Filip Hrgović versus Andy Ruiz Jr.
Yeah.
Right, that was the talk. Purse bids seemed as though Andy Ruiz's team pulled him from that. Dempsey McKean steps up, chance of a lifetime. And like his story, again, like most boxers, is incredible. Came over here in 2021, went to Tony Sims's gym, looks in really good shape as well, looks better as a fighter. But this is a big step up for him.
Massive step up. I love the fight because, you know, you have Hrgović, who is coming off a poor performance against a good fighter in Zhang, got the win. Obviously his father passed away, he had some tough times leading up to that fight, but no excuses going into this one. I don't know, you know, you get a fighter like Filip Hrgović, who, don't forget, probably 10 years ago, this guy was over sparring with David Haye and Deontay Wilder, and the word from the gym is, this kid is unbelievable. He is the next or future world heavyweight champion. Sometimes you can go a little bit stale. You know, this is his first fight in a year again, and before that fight with Zhang, he was inactive as well. Like, it's a tough position when you're mandatory and you're not getting that fight. Sometimes you become inactive, and that can cost you. Dempsey McKean, I promise, is fit as a fiddle. Yeah, and I tell you what, he's a good fighter, he's a smart fighter. What he must do is get through those first 3 or 4 rounds of the fight, because Hrgović is horrible. He walks you down, he's got a massive right hand, he's technically sound. But he did struggle against the southpaw of Zhang. And Dempsey is awkward. He's very fit as well. And if he can get into the fight, I just saw, again, it might be because of the personal issues going into that fight, just saw a few little sulks from Hrgović when it didn't go his way. Do you know what I mean? Got to frustrate him, got to hit him from angles, you know, get him to 6, 7, 8 rounds, start working him. Dempsey's engine's unbelievable. You know, done a lot of rounds with Dubois and people like that, takes hammer as well. And if he's tough enough, because he's never boxed anywhere near this level before, because this is the absolute elite level of the division, if he's good enough, he can win this fight. And if he does...
Was there ever any talks of Philip or Dempsey fighting AJ?
Yeah, you know what? No, really.
Just because that fight was there.
People presume a couple of reasons. Number one is Filip Hrgović has trained 9-10 weeks for a southpaw, so all he's had is southpaw sparring. I know it's easier to switch back to an orthodox, but number two is he's got the world heavyweight title shot. All he's got to do is beat Dempsey McKean, and he's immediately mandated to fight for the world heavyweight title. And I think the money you would have had to pay Hrgović, and you know, and I don't mind saying as well, Hrgović is a very good fighter. I'm not over the moon about AJ fighting Hrgović on 6 days' notice either. He was fine with it, but no one ever communicated with anyone. His team didn't come on. Dempsey's a southpaw, so that was the problem there. I think Dempsey.
And then what did you do with Dempsey as well?
Yeah, but I think, well, we talk about maybe Dempsey as an opponent for AJ, but of course him being a southpaw made no sense at all. Like, I wanted Washington came on for the fight, Del Boy came onto the fight, Andy Ruiz didn't really come onto the fight, but posted about it on Instagram. Manuel Char came on for the fight. I just looked at Helenius, and especially when he sent me a message after his win on Saturday night, and I thought, in camp, just box, no excuses, 6'9", tall, stand up, can punch a bit, will let his hands go. Perfect preparation for Deontay Wilder, I think, as well. And a good fight, solid
just
fight.
As we're talking about the main event now, is it a little bit, though, with Helenius, a kind of a no-win situation?
They all are.
Yeah, true. I know what you're saying. The only reason I say that is because it makes for a great fight, because he's got to go out there, I think, AJ, and he's got to be destructive and he's got to get the finish. It's just because Wilder's done him in one round.
But before Dillian Whyte accepted this fight, and we didn't actually think he would, but great that he did, unfortunately, with the news. But actually, from there, the interesting thing was that Helenius and Caballero would have 2 options if we didn't fight him. Both had agreed terms, actually, for the fight. But AJ was kind of like with Helenius, yeah, but Wilder stopped him early. Like, I can't really get any credit for that. But actually now it's like, don't worry about that. It's about preparation. You're not going to do it faster than Wilder, so don't worry about that. The only thing that scares me is, you know, last time we had a fighter pull out of a fight with Anthony Joshua on a failed drugs test was Andy Ruiz. And of course, that didn't go too well. And all of that fight week, all that was spoken about, if you remember, was Deontay Wilder and the negotiations. And you're fighting Wilder if you beat Andy Ruiz. It's kind of like, there's so many deja vus here, I don't even want to talk about it. So I don't care how the victory comes. I just want him to go out and enjoy himself. Because honestly, he seems so happy with his career, with his training, with his mindset. And he was so excited to do a job on Dillian Whyte. Now he's got to do the job on Helenius. Different style. It's not easy, you know, switching up against a smaller fighter that likes to cross his arms and, you know, shoulder roll a little bit, to a big stand-up 6'9" heavyweight. No excuses though. You've got to go through these guys, and I think you're going to see a great performance from Anthony on Saturday.
Yeah, and very quickly, the chief support's a good one as well. Very good. We've mentioned it already, but to see Chisora again in action, Gerald Washington. What do you make of Chisora? I think he looks in great shape. There's some pictures of him here now. Looks in great shape, doesn't he?
In great shape. You know, yeah, terrible.
I don't know what he's wearing. I actually thought it was Louis Vuitton. I thought it was, but it clearly isn't.
But we don't know what we're going to get from Derek. One thing I will tell you is it's a 50-50 fight.
Yeah.
I really believe that. You know, we don't know where Derek's at. We never know where Derek's at. I don't think he knows where he's at. You know, he just rocks up and goes to war. You know, and also a shout out to, honestly, a brilliant heavyweight fight. I know it's only the Southern Area heavyweight title, but Johnny Fisher against Harry Armstrong. Really good fight. Like, so many unanswered questions about Johnny Fisher. Like, he's super fit. He's got a great chin. He's got fast hands. He can punch. But Harry Armstrong's
he really fancies this.
Yeah, he does. They called it.
I said his whole life, and this is his thing.
But also, you know what? I said to Johnny Fisher, they went, "We want the Southern Area title. We want Harry Armstrong." I said, "I don't like the fight because the guy always fights on short notice. You want to give him 8 weeks' notice. You want to give him the opportunity of a lifetime. He's super fit." Harry Armstrong now, right? But he's one of those durable heavyweights. We'll go 10 rounds, no problem. Yeah. We saw with Matty Harris the other week, go 4 or 5 rounds, couldn't stand up.
Yeah.
If you're letting those hands go like Johnny Fisher, you see it with AJ in the early part of his career. All of a sudden, through 5 or 6 rounds, the lactic acid has just built up, and it's like
because that Jamie TKB
on short notice as well.
You know, moving, he's peppering him with the jab. It's like
6'6", like that's a real tough fight. And by the way, Campbell Hatton ain't got an easy one either. Finally in with someone that really comes to fight and boxed at English title level as well. So cracking undercard on Saturday night, and of course, unbelievably, I'm still getting over having to say not on pay-per-view, which is unbelievable for subscribers. Genuinely, I mean the value of this card, and of course the value of Anthony Joshua not on pay-per-view. Congratulations. You know, I can't tell you it'll last forever, but congratulations to the wonderful DAZN subscribers who continue to watch the very best schedule in the sport.
They certainly do. Fantastic segue here, because this is the schedule coming up on DAZN in the next few months.
And now entering the arena, the Wow Your Five.
Beautifully timed punches being thrown here.
It's always looking for the big shot to get his respect. Lee Wall!
He's produced a flawless performance.
Warrington!
Big attack from Warrington!
You know what, for me, it's about putting on a dominant performance. I'll prove that on the night.
Chantel!
Cameron desperately working away. Combinations from Taylor.
And still the undisputed champion of the world.
I promise, me and Darren Barker aren't that small. We're not that small. We've just been joined by the land of the giants. We had Eddie Hearn, now we've got Dempsey McKean.
I'm taller than you.
You're taller than me, but when you're standing next to him, it makes me look even smaller.
Yeah, Dempsey. Small, medium, large, doesn't it? So, yeah.
Dempsey, look, your story's incredible, honestly. For you to get the call from AJ to come sparring in 2021 and then to relocate over here for opportunities, now Hrgovic on Saturday. This is what it's all about, isn't it? Big fights, big events, and you tick both boxes on Saturday.
Yeah, definitely. It's been some good events. Obviously, I got brought over to spar AJ in 2021 for the Usyk fight, and you know that kind of performed well there. Led to a signing with Matchroom as well, with my team Ace Boxing, working diligently to secure that too. And then, you know, we've been in the gym training for a big fight for a long time. As you know, I've been mentioned with some big names like Tyson Fury, AJ previously, Dillian White. We've also come very close to, and all slipped through the fingertips each time. But you know, we're here. Hrgovic, signed, sealed, delivered. We're only a few days out to make my dreams possible. So.
You know this is a tough fight. You're under no illusion. But you must look at that Zhang fight and think, do you know what? He struggled with a southpaw there. You're a southpaw. You said you're fast, you've got good feet, good head movement, and you're an awkward southpaw. So you must take a lot of confidence away from that fight into this.
Yeah, definitely. I do a lot of things better than what Zhang does as well. Obviously, with two kettles of fish, you know, he's a different fighter than I am, but I do a lot of things better. I've got good head movement, I've got good feet, I've got good hand speed, everything above, and I've got a good pop with my punches too. So I'm looking forward to it. It is going to be a hard fight, 100%, but I'm more than ready for that. I've been training for a big fight, and this is what it's all about. We're in this sport to secure these big fights and land those bigger fights as well after.
The pot of gold is huge. What would it mean to you, Ade said as well, to actually fight for a heavyweight world title?
It's massive, mate. Like, I've only been boxing for about 8.5 years as well. You know, I didn't have any amateur fights. I fell into professional boxing, took a professional boxing fight on a day's notice, and just after competing in a bit of mixed martial arts and Muay Thai, and you know, here we are. So I am learning on the job. I am quite green, but you know, I'm improving every fight, and I've come a long way. And to be able to even get this, to position this where I can fight for the world titles within one fight is massive. You know, it's something I've obviously dreamed about since I started boxing. You know, those 8.5 years ago.
Honestly, it's an incredible story. Like I've said, you guys have had your little back and forth. You and Hrgović, he said, who have you fought? And I liked your rebuttal where he was like, well, who have you fought? Who have you beat? Because a lot of people thought he didn't beat Zhang. So when you look at the CV, you're probably right in saying that. Yeah. It's quite a similar CV when you look at the wins that both of you have.
Yeah, exactly. We've got the same. You know, obviously he's got the extensive amateur career and he's got more experience in that. He's been boxing probably twice the amount of time I have. But, you know, who has he decisively beat that I haven't? You know, like a very controversial win against Zhang. Maybe kind of got it gifted there. We don't know. But, you know, like, we're going to see come Saturday night. I feel like I've got all the tools and, you know, the repertoire and the arsenal to give him a hell of a fight.
By the time you walk out, sorry Daz, by the time you walk out, it's going to be pretty much full. What's that feeling like, walking out to, I don't know, around 15,000 will be in there when you're there in the ring? I mean, I don't know what's the biggest attendance you've been, but I'm sure it's not that. What's that like?
Yeah, well, that's the thing, you know. Visualization is everything. I've been making sure I've been manifesting, visualizing every day, because when I walk out, I don't want any shocks, no new emotions or anything like that. So I'm waking up, visualizing, you know, trying to keep the nerves and the adrenaline at bay, because you don't want to be thinking about the fight too much. But, you know, it's just pure excitement. You know, I love and I thrive off a big crowd and a loud crowd as well. So, you know, I really can't wait. I think the last time I fought at the O2 was on the Lawrence Okoli and Sislak card, and I thought at about 3 p.m. on a Sunday afternoon. Now this is the first fight, so I could link up. So I could link up with the Australian times as well. And I think there was about 30 people in the crowd, and that was at the O2. So it's going to be a complete different shock come you know, this Saturday. But I'm really looking forward to it.
So the pot of gold is obviously that shot at the winner of Usyk Dubois. How do you see that fight playing out?
Yeah, I think Dubois might have his moments and stuff, and he might look good in some patches. But I think Usyk is just a smooth operator. He's a very good boxer. I think he's just going to be playing it smart, staying away from the power shots, circling to the right, popping that jab out, and then doing what he needs to do to win. I think it's probably going to be a 12-round decision to Usyk.
Ultimately, look, regardless of how it plays out on Saturday, and look, you know, good luck to you. You're at the top table now when it comes to heavyweight boxing. People know who you are. You mentioned you've been linked with Fury, AJ White. You're getting the Hrgović fight now. This is it, isn't it? You want to stay here at the top table and be mixing it, regardless again of how it plays out on Saturday.
Definitely. This is what it's all about. You know, you want to be. I've had my fair share of stay busy fights and tick over fights and that, and then it kind of even got brought up again. Like if the Hrgović one couldn't get made, do we take another tick over fight? And I just said to Tony and my manager, I said, mate, I'm not taking any more of these fights. I'm ready for the big fights. I want to start making a move. I'm 33 years old next month. You know, time's not on my side, even though it's quite young for a heavyweight. But I want to start making a move, start landing some of these bigger fights. Chuck me in the mix now. I'm ready. I want to show everyone.
Is the plan to go back to Australia at some point and headline there?
Yeah, well, look, like a win here. Obviously, I'd love to fight Usyk in Australia, but I know he's just signed with the Saudis and all that as well. So obviously, they're going to be fronting a bit of money, and they're going to want to get him over there for that next fight. But hey, I don't mind. That bit of oil money would do pretty well, I think. So.
We'd all take a bit of it. We'd all take a bit of it. Yeah. You mentioned you're with Tony Sims. What's it like? That camp seems to be buzzing. Some good wins in that camp recently.
It's awesome. Yeah, the table's really good, and obviously with the great news of Conor Benn getting cleared to fight now and showing his innocence, and yeah, he's on the fringe of another big fight, and the whole stable, John Ryder taking Canelo 12 rounds, and yeah, we were just, it's like the whole gym's buzzing. Everyone's back in there. Joe Cordina's looking to fight probably September as well, defend his title. So just to be even rubbing shoulders with some of these fighters and these guys, you know, it's such a close-knit gym, as you know, Darren, you trained there for many years. Great bunch of people, great coach in Tony and Kevin Mitchell also. So I just love it. It literally is a home away from home. Makes it a little bit more easier for me being on the other side of the world.
Yeah, indeed. Dempsey, look, good luck on Saturday against Filip Hrgović. As Darren said, you win, it's a title shot.
Oh, you're there, mate.
Which massive. Can't get much more fast track than that. So
it doesn't get more fast track than that, indeed. Delayed. AJ is delayed. London traffic. We expected it to happen, didn't we? London traffic. So what we're going to do, we're going to come back around 1:45. So make sure you rejoin us at 1:45 for the main card press conference. Welcome everyone back to the press conference here at the Pan Pacific in central London. Remember, it's the press conference for Anthony Joshua versus Robert Helenius. We've had the undercard press conference, which was enjoyable. We are waiting for the main man, AJ, to turn up. London traffic, people, as you know, it can happen. Darren Barker alongside myself, Adi Oladipo. Look, we've got time now to talk about AJ. Yeah. In terms of the opponent, obviously Helenius has come and Eddie's told us why it's Helenius. Of all the opponents that were out there, Andy Ruiz's name was mentioned, Martin Bakole, Hrgovic is on the card. Do you feel they've got the right opponent?
That's a good question. I mean, there's a lot of
moving parts.
But there's a lot of boxes that need to be ticked to get the perfect opponent. Like Eddie said, just on his side, you know, there's got to be sensible offers. You know, a lot of the people seeing, oh, Dillian Whyte's not allowed to fight, I'm going to jump in, I'm going to go on fortunes. It's not the case. Do you know what I mean? You've got to be sensible in your offer or on what you're willing to accept. And obviously, Helenius was that man. I think it's difficult, like I said at the top, because
what would the dream opponent? Because I have to be honest, for me, the dream opponent would have been Filip Hrgovic. Yeah. That would have been the dream one, and it probably would have stayed as a pay-per-view event.
But for me, a dream fight is AJ Wilder, and there's a potential that Hrgovic could rubbish that and rip
so you have to weigh up the risk.
You've got to weigh it up. Yeah, you've got to remember, this is, regardless if it was Dillian Whyte or now Helenius, it's a tune-up fight, right? Let's get it right.
Yeah.
I've had AJ heavy favourite against Dillian Whyte, and I have AJ a heavy favourite against Helenius. I just think there's a bit more added pressure going into this fight because of what Wilder done to Helenius. But don't get me wrong, I think that's going to bring out the best in AJ. He's going to think, right, I've got to look good here. I can't be fighting Helenius over 12. I can't let this go 12 rounds. I have to. This can't go past 6. Let's get it right. This cannot go past 6 rounds.
Yeah.
So, look, I think he's a very credible opponent. He ticks more boxes than others do. There's the Ruiz one. Ruiz, obviously, probably, you know, are you going to get him over from wherever in the States?
Yeah, and how much does he want?
How much does he want? Let's get it right. The second fight weren't pretty.
Yeah.
And what happened in the first fight, you don't want to see that happening again with the Wilder fight potentially there. So it's a tricky one, right, for everybody. It's a tricky one for Eddie, Matchroom. It's a tricky one for AJ. It's a tricky one for everyone. But the most important thing is we want to see AJ fight. There's nothing quite like an AJ night at the O2. It's brilliant. The atmosphere is absolutely electric. So
yeah, and there is the Nordic nightmare as well. You know what I like about Helenius more than all the other opponents that were rumoured to be in the run-in? So your Cabials, your Bacoles, your Andy Ruizes. He's active. He is active. He fought last weekend. He only had a 3-round blowout. It was basically a glorified sparring session. So we know that he's fit, he's strong, he's ready. Eddie showed me a video of him, this is Helenius, after the fight, in the change room saying, look, Eddie, I've done my job, give me the opportunity.
Yeah.
So there's no excuses. I mean, look, in an ideal world, Andy Ruiz Jr. flies out, but what's he been doing for the last few months?
Yeah.
Is he fit? Is he ready to go? Helenius is fit and he's ready to go.
You got someone there who's got his eye in, his timing, his distance is there. He genuinely wants to win. He needs to win. Let's get it right. I mean, he was going to retire. Didn't he say he was retiring after the Wilder fight?
Yeah.
So, look, he's coming back. He's going to give it one more go. So he's going to come into this fight thinking, do you know what? I can completely and utterly change my life if I beat Anthony Joshua. So, yeah, in that sense, the desire, the hunger's there from Helenius. And that's what you want when you got someone fighting AJ in what is a meaningful fight. It's a fight which I expect AJ to win, but look, the guy in the other corner has a chance to change his life. He's got a chance to be in these, continue to be in these big fights.
Yeah, it's a lottery ticket, isn't it, for Helenius? If he wins, I mean, look, regardless of how it plans out for him, there's no pressure at all. He's got the call on 5 days' notice. AJ's expected to win, isn't he? I remember going into the Jermaine Franklin fight with AJ, and I was like, AJ's got to knock out Jermaine Franklin. In the end, that didn't happen, and I started to find reasons why it didn't happen. Surely, in this one, because of the late notice, because of who Helenius is, because of what Wilder did, AJ has to stop Helenius.
This cannot go past 6 rounds.
Yeah. What if it does?
Well, then, look, the fight will still, look, as long as he wins, the fight still with Wilder will still go ahead, I hope.
Is that not the most important thing? Just get the W?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
But I'm talking about the confidence for Anthony Joshua. If this goes past 6 rounds, you're going to be you know, you're going to be head scratching yourself a little bit. You know, he's a destructive puncher, AJ, and if he doesn't destroy Helenius like Wilder has, like Washington has, then there's going to be a lot of negativity surrounding AJ and the performance, and he doesn't need that now. Doesn't need that negativity going into a fight potentially with Wilder. Look, I keep saying this Wilder fight because
do we need to stop doing that?
Maybe, because I want it to happen.
Yeah.
Like we said it before. Imagine the energy, the atmosphere just before the first bell. AJ versus
But you
Wilder.
heard what Eddie said as well, didn't he? They were doing exactly the same thing before the Ruiz fight.
Yeah.
And then what happened? Right?
I know. And look, it's just it is worrying, but I've no doubt it's not nothing to do with clinic here or a boxing class or anything. Nobody wants to see that. We need to see
just get the job done emphatically.
Yeah.
And he will. I think he will.
If he look, let's get it right. If AJ gets a centre ring from the off, sort of, you know, he's aggressive naturally, but if he's aggressive in this fight and he lets bombs go, this will not go past 3 rounds. So
careful, Helenius is just there, by the way.
Okay, this will not go past 3 rounds. So yeah, look, it's look, again, doesn't matter who's in front of AJ. We know for a fact, just talking about the atmosphere quickly now, we was in Dallas recently. The atmosphere in that venue was incredible, but AJ fight night, not much comes close.
Yeah, especially at the O2 Arena as well. Look, we've seen him at bigger venues, Wembley Arena, Principality in Cardiff, but O2 Arena I almost feel like is AJ's home.
Yeah.
My one worry for AJ is that every time he's had an opponent fall out, the step-up opponent, whether it be Andy Ruiz or even Carlos Takam, we haven't seen the best AJ performances, have we?
No, and yeah, there's numerous reasons for that. There's you sort of slung into a no-win situation, like I've said. The opponent, the complete opposite. Nothing to lose, everything to gain. High risk, you know. There's a lot of change of styles, etc. And it can happen. It can happen. Like I just think that.
Would there have been a conversation with any member of that team, whether it be 258, Derek James, AJ, Eddie Hearn, that have said, don't fight? Would that have been an option on the table? So of all the options on the table, so the fighters, Helenius, Ruiz, Bacoli, Caballero, would one of the options be, let's not fight?
Yeah, I'm sure. You know, everybody involved, it's a professional outfit, you know, and you've got to put all the cards on the table, and I'm sure that was an option. I think it was probably rubbish pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But you've got to look at all avenues here. But I think the most important, I've said this from the off, he has to fight. He needs another fight before he gets in there with Wilder. And I think for his confidence, it's crucial again that he gets a stoppage. Like you need, like we need to see it, don't we?
I think in order to kind of get excited and get hyped for the Wilder fight, because we know what Wilder does to people.
Yeah.
You almost feel like you want to see two punches in there against each other, and I think we do need to see an AJ stoppage. Probably see behind us here the DAZN logo. I find it fantastic that we don't see the gold bit around it, which is the pay-per-view element.
Yeah.
That decision from everyone, whether it be the hierarchy at DAZN, Matchroom, to remove it from pay-per-view, I think is important.
Yeah. Look, they need to be for special nights, real special nights, and this will be an exceptional night. But losing out on the original opponent sort of, you know, knocks it down a peg or two, and yeah, they've done the right thing. Yeah.
One thing I did say to AJ, I remember interviewing AJ before the Jermaine Franklin fight, and I said, look, how many fights are you going to have this year? Because I don't think we see him active enough. And the only way I think he gets better with activity, and he said 3. This will be the second. Any chance we do get, I don't want to use the name, but any chance we do get to see that one, if he comes through this comfortably, any chance we get to see it before the end of the year?
I mean, I think that fight happens. I do. I think there's so much money going to be on the line for both fighters there. They'd be crazy, and I think they both need that fight at this stage in the career. If I'm honest, where else is there to go? I think it just makes sense professionally and financially. Whether it's this side of Christmas or just after is another question. I don't think he'll fight again if that fight is in January, though. There's no need. I think 12 rounds and let's say 4 here. 16 rounds. Going into that fight, I've said it there's my prediction.
There you go, 4 rounds.
Yeah, I think 16
Don't put
rounds.
any money on that, brother.
16 rounds, going in that fight is good preparation.
Indeed. All right, you want to know a bit more about Anthony Joshua? If you don't already know everything, this might help you. This is AJ, the making of.
Tough times can even make you or break you. It was tough, but it made me.
this was the moment that Anthony Joshua became a major star?
I was just shouting at him like, come on, let's fight. Where you running? And this is the passion of Dillian Whyte.
I thought there was going to be riots in the crowd. I really did. In the space of 6 years, he'd gone from being a raw novice to going in with one of the greatest heavyweights of all time.
Klitschko down for the second time, all over the place.
You're one shot away from trouble or disaster at any point.
You have to dig deep, and they're the type of fights that people remember for many years to come.
And by the way, just got confirmation, the weigh-ins tomorrow at Westfield White City. Obviously, it's open to the public. Make sure you come down.
Friday.
We were there Friday, apologies. We were there for Jermaine Franklin. Don't go tomorrow, by the way. You'll be the only one there. We were there for Jermaine Franklin. It was a fantastic atmosphere. We'll get confirmation of the time for you a bit later. AJ is 3 minutes away, which is good. Here we go, right? I mean, police escort as well. Indeed. If not Wilder, we keep saying Wilder. Who else can he fight? Fury.
Yeah. Look, we just want to see the ones that haven't fought each other. We haven't seen AJ Fury, we haven't seen AJ Wilder, have we? So they're the fight. I want to see the ones we haven't seen. He's a big lump.
Yeah, so Helenius has just literally walked past us. The Nordic Nightmare. And it's weird, I followed his career for so long. I remember that European title fight with Derek Chisora. I actually thought Derek Chisora might have nicked that. But I do think, I mean, a lot of people talk about the Deontay Wilder knockout. I think his best performances are before that. Adam Kalnacki back-to-back, I thought was fantastic.
Yep.
And maybe that gave him a bit of overconfidence going into the Wilder fight because of those performances.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a solid fighter, and there's no reason why he can't turn his career around. There's a lot of good attributes that he has. The desire's obviously still there to have that fight that he had last weekend. You know, it wasn't a huge event, but he still wanted to fight and still get his career back on track. So that shows that his desire, which is the most important thing, because the desire helps you, do that extra round in the gym. You know, really give it that extra bit when it gets tough in a fight. So that shows that it's there. So look, he's a solid fighter, good amateur pedigree as well. There's everything there. You know, he can whack, but he's fighting AJ.
But ultimately, there are levels in this sport.
Exactly. He's fighting AJ. He's fighting AJ, who's, I feel.
How far away is he from Dillian Whyte, would you say, level-wise? Where, like, would you have them the same? Would you have Dillian Whyte a bit better? Like, where are they? They had a fight, remember, a few years back.
I would. Yeah, there's not much in it.
There's not much in it. Yeah.
There's not much in it. The reason why I sort of stuttering a little bit and pausing is because they're different.
Yeah.
They're different kind of fighters. So look, he's credible. He ticks the boxes. Look, would you rather not see him or see him fight? That's the question. I'm glad that he's fighting. I'm glad that AJ's fighting. I'd rather see him fight than not fight.
Yeah.
So yeah, look, I'm just buzzing. And we said it over there doing a little interview. I'm glad for everyone else on the undercard as well that they're getting, not the Hergovich and Dempsey's and Dell, etc., but the younger, the Brandon Scott, the George Liddard, the Maisie Rhodes, and all that, they're getting to fight again.
Yeah, they're getting their paychecks as well. Obviously, they've sold a lot of tickets. I'm looking at Hergovich. I'm looking at Helenius here, and I'm thinking, one second, I was told to come here. I've been here. I'm on time. Surely he'll get a bit annoyed about this as well. Like, why am I waiting? It's almost like when a fighter, does the long ring walk and you're in the ring and you're like, 1 second, I've done my ring walk, where is he? And I'm looking at Helenius here, look, he's all smiles, but he must be thinking, all right, can we just get this show on the road?
You talk about London traffic. Well, AJ pretty much lives in London, so he should know better off. He should know more than him about getting there on time because of the traffic. But anyway, look.
Is that mind games?
I don't think
Is that mind games?
I mean, look, it can happen. It can happen, can't it? He's just a bit more punctual.
Yeah, indeed. The British Boxing Board have control to go through their tick list as well, just to make sure that Helenius ticked all the boxes to go. All those boxes are ticked. He's ready to go. And look, as we say, look, we've seen him now up close and personal. He's in shape.
Yeah, he's in shape.
Very good shape.
And look, like I say, he's going to get paid well for this, which he wasn't expecting. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be really good, but he'll know, look, if I put in a very good performance, if I could do sort of the unthinkable and beat AJ, then there's going to be more paydays. He's not stupid. He understands. He's in a division that pays very, very well. There's some big fights there. So
there's some big opportunities on the card for him.
Yeah,
look at some of the heavyweights on the card. I mean, he would like to roll that dice once again with Gerald Washington. Maybe roll it again with Chisora. So there's big opportunities for him regardless of how it plays out. And this is why sometimes I think you've just got to, you always hear the phrase, stay ready rather than get ready.
Yeah.
and he's obviously stayed ready.
That's one of the things as well. Where I didn't really worry or panic with this card is because it's heavyweights.
There's always someone.
There's always somebody. You know, if we had a middleweight top of the bill,
it's over, isn't it?
Yeah,
no one's making 160
exactly,
pounds.
or you're getting a blown up sort of welterweight or something like that who's going to jump in. So it's it's good that it was heavyweights. It's just another part of the story, the AJ story. That it hasn't been all plain sailing, has it? And this is another little moment that he's had to overcome. But I think he's covered a lot, hasn't he, AJ, in his career? He must, you talk about experience in the ring. He's got a lot of experience outside of the ring now, and it just helps you build your character. And he's going to need that if he, gets that fight that we all hope for against Wilder.
This AJ story has been going 10 years now. Obviously, at the 2012 Olympics, he waited a year before he signed with Matchroom. So many ups and downs in those 10 years. If you were to grade AJ's career in that 10 years, putting you on the spot here, grade it. What would you say you give AJ for his career work?
A.
An A, yeah?
Well, a two-time heavyweight champion of the world, right? And an Olympic gold medal. I mean, you've cracked it.
Yeah.
I mean, like, what
else can you do? And you've sold out stadiums and arenas constantly.
Okay, what more is there to do? Okay, the plus would come if you become undisputed. The plus comes if you retire undefeated. But how could you not give him an A?
Would the plus come, or would some say it's a B plus because he's not fought the Furies and the Wilders?
I just think
Am I being too harsh?
Yeah, I get it, but I don't see how you could not grade him an A. Yeah. The goal of every single fighter is to, as an amateur, win the Olympics, and as a pro, win a world title.
Yeah.
I would grade my career as an A. Do you know what I mean? My goal as a child was to win a world title.
And you ticked it.
It doesn't matter who I fought. It didn't matter. I won a world title. So I'm giving myself an A. But he's won an Olympic gold medal. He's won, numerous world titles, two-time heavyweight world champion, and like you say, all the commotion that's come with his career. Yeah, I mean, A.
Hrgovic was standing up. He's saving his legs. He sat down. He sat down as the Nordic Nightmare. All 6'9" of him as well. Look, it has been a fantastic career from AJ. 10 years in the fight game as well, which is no easy feat, especially in the heavyweight division. How long do we have left of him? 33 now, Anthony Joshua.
Do we go past? In my head.
Do you think if he gets? Do you think 2 years?
2 years.
What's that? 4 fights? 5 fights?
That's what I'm thinking. Probably 4 fights.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily. It all depends on the manner of defeat, and there could well be a defeat in there. The Wilders really is a toss of a coin. As long as you're not getting destroyed and not spark out in a round, then there is opportunity to keep going. But how much hunger is left? Yeah. We said to him, didn't we, the original presser, about what's the goal? Is it still to be a three-time world champion? He said, yes, that is still the goal.
Okay, there you can see we've got a camera in the corridor. There he is. There's the big man, Anthony Joshua. He makes his way just the hour late, but what's an hour between friends and family? But he's here, AJ. Look, more importantly, he's here. The show goes on, and I think he does need to be applauded. Yeah. I've seen many fighters say, you know what, if my opponent's done what we're alleged to believe Dillian Whyte might have done, that's it, I'm not fighting. He decided to keep the card intact. It's not pay-per-view, which I tell you now means half the monies that he's made that is gone as well. Derek James, his trainer, just walked past me as well. It's been a busy couple of weeks for Derek James, obviously. The big fight with Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, but Anthony Joshua is here, so we're about a minute away from this press conference beginning. Chisora has decided to walk back into the press conference as well, by the way, so I do apologise for any language you might hear now, because Chisora is still in the building. But it's good to see AJ here, isn't it? It always gets excited when you come to these big
AJ
press conferences. It's incredible.
Yeah, AJ Fight Weeks are special.
Yeah, they certainly are. They really are special. As he takes his seat there, Eddie Hearn takes his seat as well. But credit to everyone, I think, for continuing this fight card. The Zone, Matchroom, but again, more importantly, to the big man there, AJ, who's taken this fight. It's a risky one for him as well, especially when we know what the pot of gold is in a few months' time. Deontay Wilder, for him to take this one on 5 days' notice is dangerous.
Yep.
But it's the heavyweight division.
And it shows that he still loves to fight. He doesn't care who it is, he wants to fight.
Yeah, I guess that's what happens when you do a 12-week fight camp, right? You do a 12-week fight camp, you want to fight after that fight camp, don't you?
Yeah, who am I chinning? Who am I knocking out?
Yeah, it certainly is. Derek James takes his seat next to AJ as well. I've always wondered how much time Derek James has with AJ, because again, it's a busy camp. Errol Spence, Jamel Charlo as well, that fight coming up with Canelo. But look, I think they're ready. to toss it down to Eddie Hearn. It's time for the main card press conference. AJ versus Robert Helenius. Let's go down to Eddie Hearn.
Well, welcome back to London, and of course the main event Saturday night at the O2 Arena, live and exclusive on DAZN around the world. Not pay-per-view, available to subscribers. An unbelievable night of heavyweight boxing. Of course, the main event, Anthony Joshua against Robert Helenius, and a huge heavyweight undercard as well. It's been a challenging few days, and I particularly want to thank the two men to my right and left. Of course, Anthony Joshua, who stayed focused, put 12 weeks of hard work into this camp, and was desperate to fight on Saturday night, to progress his career, to showcase the hard work that took place. And Robert Helenius, who accepted the challenge, accepted the call, has a good team of people around him. We knew wouldn't mess around. We knew he was fit. He just boxed at the weekend. We knew he would come to fight. We knew he would try to win. And we have an important heavyweight fight on Saturday night at the O2. Also want to thank, of course, our broadcast partners, DAZN. I've been here before in this situation. It's a very difficult situation, and to take the event off pay-per-view and make sure that they pay a rights fee instead to give subscribers value for money, to give Anthony Joshua the fight, to make sure that everybody on the undercard can fight on Saturday and get paid for their work over the 10, 12 weeks of camp, means a lot to us. And congratulations to all DAZN subscribers around the world. You're in for a real treat on Saturday night, and to those who haven't subscribed, please do so, because you're going to get every bit of value on Saturday. So Alfie, that's your little big up, and over to you for a big night for you guys, and massive value ahead of a huge schedule this year.
Yeah, 100%. Thanks, Eddie, and thanks everyone for joining us here today. Look, we were obviously very disappointed from the news on Saturday, but we move forward, and here we are in London. Fight week, AJ fight week, and everybody knows when AJ fights, it's a huge event. I just want to pause and echo your points there, and just quickly thank our great partners, Anthony, Freddie, everyone at 258, obviously Frank and Eddie, Matchroom, the teams at DAZN working tirelessly behind the scenes to make sure that this event goes to plan and goes ahead on Saturday as planned. And it is, and we're here. And as you say, Robert Helenius, tough opponent. He's clearly very game. He's been in with some of the best in the division, and he's here to spoil the party. So, you know, the O2 will be full on Saturday. To your point, the undercard is, I think, incredibly strong, especially some very strong heavyweight dust-ups in there, which I can't wait to see myself. And to your point there, you know, we've moved quickly, and this fight is now part of your DAZN subscription, no additional pay-per-view charge there. So it's fantastic value with lots more to come. That's all to say, really. I mean, it's AJ Fight Week. His journey continues. We all can't wait to see how it moves. Thank you to everyone, and make sure you tune in live on Saturday on DAZN.
Thank you, Alfie. We go to Team Helenius. Marcus, welcome back. You know, when this all unfolded on Saturday night, I got a call from Mike Barreo, your lawyer, and just saying, look, we fight in 2 hours' time. Yeah. We want to fight AJ next week. And, you know, whether the worlds aligned, whatever they did, you came through with a good victory on Saturday, and this Saturday, just a few days away, you prepared to fight Anthony Joshua at the O2. Strange turn of events, but what an opportunity for your man.
Absolutely. Massive opportunity. And, I mean, when do you get this close call in 1 week, and you come off a camp and you're in shape, and, yeah, everything's just fallen into place.
Obviously, it was important to get that victory on Saturday. It was a routine win as well, but good to actually do the ring walk, get the victory, knock someone out. And you guys come into this fight with confidence. I know some feel there's question marks over Anthony Joshua, but you know what victory would do for Robert's career, his life on Saturday night.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll mean everything.
Robert, welcome. We know you're a great pro. You fought some of the very best in the world. This opportunity, subject to the negotiations where we got to in the end, was one that you were absolutely not letting slip. Massive moment for you on Saturday.
Yeah, thank you for giving me this opportunity. Yeah, this fight offer came to me after my fight. 5 minutes after my fight, I was going on a vacation with my family, but not anymore. Here we are. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. And luckily, we had a good training camp behind us, so I feel ready.
One of the reasons that we wanted to take the fight is, one, we know that you're a real fighter, but also that you're in shape no excuses at the same time. This isn't a case of, oh, I only got the call Saturday. You've been in training camp. You boxed on Saturday. You're ready to fight.
Yeah, I'm ready to fight. That's why I'm here. I wouldn't. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here.
This man to my right, you've shared rounds before in sparring. I know you respect each other.
I respect him, yeah.
Two big, strong heavyweights who can really punch.
Yeah.
Going to be a hell of a fight.
It's going to be glorious.
And you believe you're not here to make up the numbers. You believe you win this fight. You win this fight, all of a sudden, the Wilder fight, the Usyk fight, the Fury fight, they're all there for you.
Exactly. No, I've been chasing the World Championship for, I think, 15 years. And when you get this big of an opportunity, you can't let it slip. And I will give everything in my power to win this fight.
And that's the message as well. I know a lot of Finnish fans as well will be tuning in on the zone as well, but a massive moment for your country.
It was big news in Finland as well. So
I can imagine. I can imagine. But to the fans here that see a fighter coming in at 1 week's notice, you assure them you will give everything.
Exactly. I assure you all.
Thank you, Robert. Derek, not what we expected, but you've been around long enough to know this can happen, and you've got to be ready for anything. Your thoughts when the news come about fighting in general? All the word out of camp is that this has been a tremendous camp, and this guy ready to fight on Saturday.
Well, you know, just finding it out, it was a little, you know, you get it and you realize it and you have to move forward. And it was all about, after that it was about Robert Helenius, who was a pretty good fighter, and you'll see everything that AJ's been able to work on throughout camp and implement it into this game.
He seems very happy. You know, when I came to Dallas, he seems to be gelling with you very well. You echo that as well. Obviously, only one fight together before with Jermaine Franklin. It was a fast turnaround, but this time done some great work and made some big progress.
But this time we had a little bit more time. I mean, he came a little earlier. We had a month and a half before we went to Vegas and trained. So it was all good. It's all about a process, and he's bought into the process, and we're constantly getting better and better and better. And so Helenius is here, and it's, you know, it's time for us to implement everything we've been working on.
From a style perspective, different to Dillian Whyte, you know, a much smaller fighter who likes to come in, you know, low and shoulder roll a little bit at times. And this is a big, tall, stand-up heavyweight. A lot of people feel like that's a good style for AJ as well. But two big men, going to be an interesting heavyweight matchup.
I think the only thing different was that the fact you have to change the trajectory of the punching, you know, so shorter, lower. So now it's a little higher because I think Helenius was 6'9", 6'8". So, but it's good though. It'll be good. It'll show his ability to transition from fighting one guy and finding out a week later, fight another guy. So you'll see.
AJ, been an interesting week. You kept yourself nice and tucked away, nice and quiet. Let the teams do their work. And you know, when you found out about this, you messaged me to say, you know, sorry, I know how hard Matchroom worked for this. We were all thinking about you, you know, how you were feeling, what you wanted to do. Yeah. I didn't know what the reaction would necessarily be. It was definitely the one that I hoped for, which is, no, I've put the work in. I'm ready to fight on Saturday.
Yeah, so I also looked at the undercard as well, and I know how much it means for them to compete. I know how hard you guys work, not only you, I know all of your backroom staff as well, so I didn't want to let anyone down, my coach, etc., the zone. So it's kind of like a responsibility. Late replacements aren't ideal, but I'll tell you, this is the third time it's happened. We had it with Kubrat Pulev and Takam, Jarrell Miller, Ruiz, now this situation. So this is what happens. A long career will present these type of obstacles, and I've just got to get used to them. So yeah, this is just another rock in my shoe towards the top of the mountain.
It's been a long time since you faced a tall, stand-up heavyweight, 6'9", someone that's bigger than you as well. Sometimes those late replacements have been a style that maybe are less suited, but looking forward to a matchup with a big, tall, strong heavyweight on Saturday.
Yeah, for sure. The principle still remains the same, is worry about myself. And we spar, like Helenius, we've shared the ring together years ago though, sparring as well, but we shared the ring together. And I've sparred so many people, different styles, I've competed with so many styles. And the objective remains the same, is victory. The objective remains the same, is victory by any means. And, you know, there's no overtime in boxing, so I've got to be on my A game and inflict pain to get the victory.
I know that, you know, you're always positive in camp, but a lot of the feedback I get comes from people around camp, and the genuine feedback this time around is we're in a great place, physically, mentally. The work has been spot on as well. Was that part of the decision-making process that you want to stay active, you've done the work, you're in great shape, mentally, physically, it's time to fight?
Yeah, so coming off the back of like COVID and stuff, everyone suffered during that period. The whole sport industry slowed down, and now we just want to get some momentum going again. As Derek said, I came out to camp early on this year, and I took some months, but like a couple of weeks back here, maybe a month back in the UK, and I went straight back out to Dallas and just tried to progress on. So no matter what happened, my goal was to continue to fight as many times as possible. Like Helenius, he fought on Saturday, he's doing the right thing. As a fighter, you have to stay busy, you have to stay active, keep on expressing your skill, and that's the only way to improve. Obviously, I haven't been fighting. I fought the start of April, the early start of this year, but I spend a lot of time in the ring. In Dallas, we do a lot of ring work, and that's the closest thing to a fight. So it's not just hitting the bag, shadow boxing and mitts. We do a lot of combat training, so I'm physically ready.
I know in this decision-making process, you were like, whoever, just tell me who, but you do know this gentleman to my left, you've sparred rounds as well, a good heavyweight. Someone that's technically good, awkward, good jab, can punch as well. It's a real fight.
It'd be silly to underestimate Helenius, silly to underestimate anyone. So I've got to take him deadly serious, and credit to him as well. He's coming to roll the dice, he wants to win. As you mentioned, other heavyweights, certain people, obviously finances is a big issue, risk versus reward. But in reality, that's not all there is to this for him. He wants to win, so he's here. So good luck to him, and shout out to everyone in Finland as well. I've been there before, and we're looking to combine UK, Finland, and the rest of the world, bring some good entertainment from the top right to the bottom. The undercard is phenomenal. So yeah, don't miss a fight. Do not miss a fight, because this card is unbelievable.
Yeah, as you said, great night, heavyweight action, particularly as well. Yeah. Very few coming back for refunds, because as well, you're in a big fight, but from top to bottom, Chisora, Washington, Dempsey McKean against Philip Hrgovic, Harry Armstrong against Johnny Fisher,
That's a great fight.
Campbell Hatton, you're one of your stable mates in a tough fight as well. As always, it's the old days at the O2, it's a stacked card.
Old days, man, we're bringing it back, we're bringing it back. It's going to be a really good night for sure, and this is what we want to bring. This is entertainment for everyone. It's not just like, I'm coming out to watch Anthony Joshua. No, I'm coming out to watch a Matchroom show. I'm coming out to watch a great night of boxing. So credit to everyone involved in this.
Thank you, AJ. We look forward to a tremendous heavyweight fight. Two very good, very experienced heavyweights. Anthony Joshua will face off against Robert Helenius on Saturday night at the O2, live and exclusive on DAZN around the world. A huge undercard as well. Derek Chisora against Gerald Washington. The IBF mandatory position up for grabs with Philip Hrgovic against Dempsey McKean. Johnny Fisher steps up for his first title fight as well. Campbell Hatton takes a big step up against Tom Ansell. Maisie Rose Courtney, George Liddard and Brandon Scott, some of our best prospects in action before the bell. Non-stop from start to finish. Get ready for a huge show on Saturday night. We're going to face off these fighters, and we'll see the media shortly. Thank you.
I'm always impressed about how Eddie Hearn just reels off the whole card like that. And some might say he should be able to do it, it's his card, but I'm always impressed how he just goes back to back.
Yeah. Every show is flawless.
No stuttering, just straight into it. I like it. That was short and sweet, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Both of those guys mean business. So I keep saying Philip Hrgovic, Robert Helenius there, spoke very well, I thought. Seemed very, very confident. It's an opportunity for him, a big one. And he's there to take it. And AJ, again, credit to him for keeping this card alive. He knows it means business as well. This is going to be interesting, because there's been a lot of talk about Hrgovic's height. I keep saying Hrgovic, don't know, Helenius' height. So you've got to be careful in this, because you've got to look at the footwear, and I can see that AJ's wearing, them trainers with massive soles.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's not much in it.
There isn't much in it, it's always there.
But yeah, confident words from both. Helenius, like you say, words of somebody who's been there, done it, understands what great opportunity he's got presented to him on Saturday night, and he sounds as if he's going to try his best to take it with both hands. AJ, another day in the office.
Yeah, another day in the office. You heard Derek James there and say that in terms of what we need to change, it's just the trajectory of the punches, right? Against Dillian White, the punches are going to go a lot lower. Obviously, against Helenius, he has to aim a bit higher, but that's it. It's another man in the ring. They would have been sparring different styles as well. I mean, I've seen that Dallas camp, and there's a lot of people, big heavyweights that come through, so they probably have had someone like an Helenius type in camp anyway. So AJ should be ready. This is not his first time fighting a guy taller than him. He's fought tall guys before. Dominic Brazil, Charles Martin. They're all tall in the heavyweight division, aren't they? I mean, there are no 6 foot guys in the heavyweight division. They're all 6 foot plus. So should be a fun one. AJ is going to join us in a few minutes as well. It'd be interesting to get his take on the choice of Helenius. Because again, I said who makes that decision, and ultimately AJ is the captain of his ship. So ultimately he must be the one that give it the green tick, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he would have fought anyone.
Yeah.
Like knowing AJ, I'm pretty sure he would have said, I'll fight him. Anyone that they was saying, he would have said, yeah, no problem, no problem. It's a good, like, look, I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm just happy that we're getting to see him in action. Like I say, nothing quite like an AJ fight week.
There isn't, honestly, there isn't. I think there's a couple of tickets, and I mean only a couple of tickets left. If you've never been to an AJ fight week, trust me, get down to the O2 on Saturday because it will be lively.
And also the venues we get to go to. We don't get press conference venues like this, do we? Unless it's an AJ fight week.
It is. Talking about that.
Croissants, tea, coffee.
Yeah, I'm avoiding all those as well at the moment. Because of my own sort of weight cut. Way in Westfield, White City on Friday. It starts at 1 o'clock. It'll be me, Darren, and Tony Bailey, former WBC Cruiserweight champ, will be joining us as well. There's Anthony Joshua. AJ just saying hello to a couple of young fans there as well. He always does that as well. Looking a bit leaner. Don't get me wrong, still huge, still humongous, but a bit leaner, I think. Jumping in the middle,
Tired today, lads.
Was that a hard stretch for you there? That little 2 foot.
Time catches up with you.
It always gets to you. Yeah? Always gets to you. When did you get in? I mean, I thought I was going to bump into you in Vegas for Spence Crawford, but I didn't. Did you? Was you already flying back to?
Yeah. I got to focus on myself. Interesting fight, obviously, massive fight for them two, but I had to focus on myself because I knew I had this coming up.
Yeah. Can I ask you the first reaction? The first time you heard the news, I'm guessing it was probably on Saturday. What was your initial reaction?
With Dylan White?
Yeah.
Stuff happens in boxing. It's not the first time we've heard it, so it was kind of like, okay, it's just me now in someone else's situation. Like, other people have it happen to them, so I just okay. And also, I've had it happen to me in 2019.
Yeah.
So I just kind of said, what's the plan? Are we going to cancel? Or are we going to move forward? And Eddie and the team done a great job of finding another opponent. It's obviously not a pay-per-view show. I know people that are traveling from America to watch this. Like me and Dylan White, it was a big fight. We done so much content around it as well. So much great content.
I'm upset about this. I'm so upset.
Can't we release it still?
Can't release it,
I think they should release it.
Yeah.
Really good content. We captured really good content, but what can we do? That's my mindset, is just flip the coin, what's next, and give it my best.
So, you know, with that process, you say Eddie and the team, were they just presenting names to you and you just sort of saying yes or no, or did they say, look, we've agreed this?
Not necessarily. It was kind of like, what funds are available for people, because not so much presenting names, because it's on them, it's on the fighters really, because they want to get paid. I think that's one of the things with.
But they've got to be sensible.
Yeah, well, I think Helenius was sensible,
right.
And also that's why I feel like he wants to win. Because I'm not saying other fighters weren't sensible, but also as well, you know, if I'm going to fight someone that's a marquee name, it makes more sense for the zone to say, let's get 3 months behind this so we can build it up and maximize it, rather than drafting someone in 5 or 10 days. So yeah, Helenius, a marquee name, but not like
not your A star names, right?
Yeah, with all due respect.
But a credible opponent.
But this is the thing in boxing. There's credible opponents and there's marketable opponents, right? Like in terms of like pay-per-view fights, like Dylan. Credible opponent, but also can cross over to pay-per-view. Helenius is not someone that you'll put me on pay-per-view with, but he's still someone that is a credible, big, strong heavyweight.
It's interesting you say that, because I've always thought AJ, regardless of who you're fighting, I have to be honest with you, pay-per-view fighter.
So this is what I say to people, is like my career, when I was champion, you could see, and that's why I hope that the next British stars coming up manage to cross over and become champions, because if you take risks, you get big rewards. I went out, I fought 4 champions or 3 champions in order to collect the belts, and that's how I was managed to capture the attention of the British public by fighting other champions. So it wasn't just like Anthony Joshua. I was doing Bear Grylls, climbing up mountains. But I've done everything to try and capture the public's attention, and I got the blueprint. If anyone wants it, I can definitely give it to them. But it's about marketing yourself as well.
Going back to the fight with Helenius, there's a lot of noise about you having to stop Helenius. I'm not going to ask that question. I'm going to ask you, will you be disappointed if you don't stop Helenius?
No comment. No comment. I'll do my job.
Yeah.
I'll do my job.
But you want to stop him?
I'll do my job. I'm going to do my job. I have to do my job. It's the only thing that's in my mind right now. And I have to, there's no extra time in boxing. Yeah, so yes, I have to do my job, and that's what I'm just thinking about, is doing a good job.
Again, on that, there's obviously potentially this big fight with Wilder looming. I know you're not thinking about that yet.
No, let's not.
Wilder.
I don't want to talk about
No, I'm not going to talk about it. Just talking about Wilder beat him in one round. Is there any thought about that entering your head? Thinking,
No, because we can go back to when I fought Jason Gavin. Yeah. I beat him earlier than Wilder did. I beat Molina earlier than Wilder did. Wilder beat Brazil earlier than. It's always going to be comparisons, but this is my fight. This is my night.
Get the job done.
Let me just do my thing, do my best.
It was the most important thing to not waste a fight camp. I know it's never wasted because it's a great fight camp. But surely you wanted to do that ring walk, get in there and fight someone.
It does make a difference. Yeah. It does make a difference, like getting on the gloves and, just competing. It's everything. You have to do it. So, it's not wasted, but it's not the same as going to fight. So I'm happy. I'm really happy. And I'm also happy about all the supporters that have travelled and the undercard as well.
Indeed. My sister's coming. Should have been so upset.
Where's she coming from?
She's coming, not far, Ipswich.
But still.
Ipswich is far enough, isn't it?
You've got to sort accommodation, you've got to sort this out. So and honestly, the undercard fighters were important. I know how much they put into it. Like, I've gone on and I know now like what the costs involved. I know, like, I've got a team, some people on a payroll, so they obviously generate me finances outside of boxing. So I can kind of have a profit and loss sheet. Some of these guys, they can't do that. They put everything into these training camps, and I thought, I don't want them to lose out. I want them to kind of earn some money as well Saturday night. So it was important to get the show on the way.
Great attitude, AJ. Look, the world's media are waiting for you. We jumped the queue, which is
try
really
slip
good.
out.
Try and slip out there. I know he does that. There's a little back road there.
Lovely.
But AJ, really appreciate you coming on. Thanks so much. Good luck on Saturday. Appreciate it. Thank you. Cheers, my man.
Thank you, man.
Confident.
Yeah.
Confident.
Like, do you know what we just said there before he come on here? It's just another day in the office for him.
Yeah.
And that's the man there talking that he just loves fighting. He don't care, I'll fight whoever. Do you know what I mean? He understands the business aspect of it, but just a man full of confidence, like what I heard there.
Indeed he does. We are going to speak to Robert Helenius as well, the Nordic Nightmare. Here he comes, the big man.
Hello.
Hello, sir. It's weird because Helenius, I've followed your career for so long, always softly spoken, goes into the ring, completely changes character and turns into the Nordic Nightmare. What an opportunity for you, though, Robert.
Yeah, what an opportunity. I feel blessed. And of course, it was last weekend at my last fight, or maybe 5 minutes after that fight, my manager came to me, come over here, I need to talk to you. I was like, well, I'm going on vacation, come on, let me be. No, he said, like, we have a really good opportunity here, and I thought about it 5 minutes, and then I was like, let's do this.
Well, that vacation now, you're going to be staying in a penthouse. You're going to be going private jet after this fight.
Probably.
It changes a lot, isn't it, doesn't it?
It is.
But you come here with a lot of confidence as well. I know people will talk about the Deontay Wilder fight, but I look at the two performances against Adam Kalnacki. I thought those were your best performances of your career. I thought they were fantastic.
Do
you look at those performances and think, okay, that's what I need to bring to the ring?
Yeah, because against Wilder, it was like more of an accident. We had our game plan to back him on the back foot because we have a lot of sparring rounds with Wilder. He never took a back step in that sparring, never. And then in the fight like this.
Yeah,
like
that back step.
Yeah. So, and after 1.5 minutes has gone in the first round, I was thinking to myself, like, there's something wrong. This is going too easy. He's going too fast backwards. Well, something's wrong. And then when 10 seconds, the knock came, and I was like, okay, now I'll give everything. And then he just...
He lands that punch on any heavyweight. No heavyweights getting up.
Yeah, so you can take confidence in some respects away from that. So look, it's heavyweight boxing. These things can happen.
Yeah, of course. So I don't. Of course, it was a devastating blow to my psyche and everything. But I've been training for a long time. I've been boxing for 26 years, and stuff like that happens all the time.
What was the change of heart? I know after the Wilder fight, you pretty much had almost decided never to fight again. What was the change of heart?
More like, well, I think 4 or 5 months I thought that, you know. So yeah, because I had this rule, like I want to be also healthy up here after the boxing career because I have children and stuff like that. So I want to live after this as well. But in the end of the day, I'm a Viking.
Yeah.
We do fighting, so that's what we do. You know.
Yeah.
That's why I'm here.
No, and it's good that you are here as well. And look at the opportunity.
Yeah.
Since you've changed your mind, you're getting the chance to fight AJ, sold out O2 Arena. What do you make of AJ? He walks off there just in front of us. What would you make of him as a fighter now?
I respect him a lot. Of course, I think he's a little bit gun shy from his earlier fights, or I don't know if it's gun shyness anymore. I think it's more of he's changing his technique with the new trainer and making him more movement, more checking around, not going in aggressively like he did in the beginning of his career. So he's grown as a boxer.
It's interesting you say that, because I had a look at your punch stats, stats and AJ's punch stats, and you are correct. You throw more punches than him. He doesn't throw as many punches as he used to.
More power punches.
More power punches as well, So maybe there is a bit of an element to a gun shy. Do you still think he is one of the best heavyweights on the planet?
Of course, of course. Yes, I respect him tremendously, and I'm going to have to be 100% here to get this win behind me.
For Robert Helenius to win this fight on Saturday night, does it have to be knockout? Does it have to be stoppage?
I don't think so, no. I don't think so. Have to be active and explosive and elusive. Really movement, speed and everything is going to be key.
I was looking at the fight card, and some rematches there for you if you want them. Gerald Washington's there, Derek Chisora is there. There's a lot of fighters on it, so regardless of how it plays out on Saturday, there are big fights still for you in the heavyweight division, Robert.
Yeah, but I'm going to turn 40 next year, so hopefully not going to be around.
You look 35. You're okay?
Thank you. But hopefully in like 4 or 5 years, I have to retire, you know.
No, but so far it's been a fantastic career.
Spend some time with the kids as well.
Honestly, it's been a fantastic career. Who knows how it could change on Saturday. Good luck, Robert. Thank you so much for speaking to us, my man.
All the best,
Thank you very much. Yeah. Robert Helenius.
Yeah. Another
what a nice guy.
The words, like I say, the speech of a man who's just doing what he loves. Just a confident fighter, an experienced fighter. I'm excited now. You know, after hearing him too, I'm excited.
Yeah, so am I excited as well. We're going to make it official this Friday. Remember, it is Westfield, White City. So not Westfield, Stratford. Don't go there. White City. The weigh-in's at 1 o'clock. Myself, Darren Barker, Tony Belly will be there as well as we make it official for the big one on Saturday, live on DAZN, not pay-per-view, this Saturday, O2 Arena. It should be a good one. Anthony Joshua versus Robert Helenius, plus, as you guys saw, a fantastic undercard of fights as well.
Boxing on DAZN, sponsored by William Hill.
Estimated collision in T-minus 10. 9.
Can you confirm satellite collision is imminent?
8. 7. 6. 5.
Collision avoidance maneuver.
4. 3. 2. 1. Satellite collision averted.
It takes the whole force to protect space. Join us.
Look out for the Mercedes-Benz showroom event. Join us in store from the 11th to the 14th of August. Order your new car over the event weekend and receive the first 2 services free. Plus, there are offers across the range, like the EQC SUV with 0% APR representative. Visit our showroom event. Order your new car and receive 2 free services.
Boxing on the Zone, sponsored by William Hill.